Welcome to Ports and Palaces podcast. Today is April 29th, and today we will be talking about the Disney Magic as well as Marvel Day at Sea.
Good morning, everyone. Like Chad said, we are doing a trip report today, but this one's a little special in that we normally don't do personal trip reports for our podcast, but we went on a cruise with family, and one of those family members is here with us today to share about their experience on the cruise. Welcome, Nathan.
Hello, everyone.
So, Nathan, we just got off the Magic. We did a Marvel Day at Sea cruise, but this is not your first cruise, right?
That is correct. I've been on a cruise years ago whenever I graduated high school.
And it was with Royal?
Yes, the Royal Caribbean.
This was your first Disney cruise,
That is correct. So this will be my second.
second cruise overall.
Pretty much.
So let's back it up because we met on the cruise, but you guys traveled in and got on the ship a little different than we did. So tell us about your first day.
So we traveled like several hours by car in order to find the cruise. I think we I don't remember if we saw the cruise ship like by the time we got to the area we were staying in. It may have been too dark for all I remember. But so after we like went to our hotel and stayed the night, we finally saw the Disney cruise. But it was so the hotel stay was hours before we were supposed to get on the cruise ship. So we said, okay, let's go get coffee somewhere. We hung around for about an hour and we were in the car for about maybe 30 minutes or so before we got out. And yeah, I'm seeing the cruise ship and I see on it says Magic. So I'm thinking, well, this cruise better feel magical because if it says it on there, it's got to live up to it. And the whole waiting period, the giant room, there was the multiple lines. Actually, no, there was one line. Then we got through the check-in, and we're having to go through other check-ins and show the associates their passports. So yeah, that was tedious, but it definitely felt different once we finally got on the cruise ship. It felt almost like going through an airport, but it didn't have the same infrastructure of an airport. So that was interesting. We finally get onto the, I don't know what's called, the part that helps you get onto the cruise ship. We got into that thing you walk through, and we're like, there's stairs on the left, and there's elevators on the right. Everybody's trying to use something. We actually entered through this like main hall area. The one I'm thinking of was like the kind to get off the cruise ship, like whenever you take an excursion. But yeah, that was, I did like seeing it all, though. And there's all these people that are greeting us.
Right.
Did y'all get
So you
the
went in-
family call out?
A family call out?
Yeah, whenever you entered the ship, did they go, welcome aboard the Palmer family?
Oh, yes. And my thought is, okay, are they going to do this to every family? Because that's going to get annoying very fast.
They do, but it's so special. They're welcoming you aboard. Maybe they really do want you to feel welcome. I know no other cruise line does that, which makes it pretty special.
Okay, well, that's something I did not know. So, yeah, that does actually make it better in that case.
So backing it up a little bit, you do enter into the atrium. So you walk into the big atrium. For listeners, we were on the Disney Magic out of Galveston. So that cruise terminal, Nathan mentioned, kind of it feels like an airport. It's not a Disney specific terminal. So it really does have that feel of like an airport. I kind of associate it with an airport plane hangar. It's just very big, open, not very bright and fun. The Disney people do try to be welcoming and kind, but it definitely has a feel of like TSA airport, come in, sit down kind of feel. But yes, then you get on board and you feel welcomed and your cruise is started. Now, Nathan, you mentioned you were looking for your room, but we actually did something first. We all met for lunch.
Okay, yeah, I totally misremembered.
So we all ate at Rapunzel's Royal Table for lunch. which was the sit down option. And then pretty much when we were done with lunch, our rooms were ready. And then once we got to our rooms. I know our luggage was there pretty quick. What about yours, Nathan?
I actually don't remember the luggage situation. I think I was simply carrying mine onto the cruise ship. I carried all of mine on because I had a duffel bag and in a backpack to have like the smaller stuff.
Okay.
Gotcha. So you had like typical carry-on type stuff. You didn't have a hard suitcase.
Yeah, my parents probably did. They would probably say otherwise, but from what I remember, all I have was a duffel bag and like a string backpack. I think I had to help them move a suitcase whenever we were trying to get off the cruise. I think that may have happened, but yeah, I only had 2 items like for carrying.
And then in true Disney fashion, pretty quick after we had to go to the muster drill. So Chad and I are pretty familiar with the process of that, but I know Royal Caribbean does muster drill a little different. So how was your experience with that?
They had us standing there for a long time, and of course, when you stand anywhere for a long time, you're gonna want the ability to sit down. And not everybody gets to sit. Like probably 10% of the entire line gets to sit. But it was actually kind of nice to see the whole ocean and see like the birds that were flying above it, and the possibility of like a shark or a dolphin.
And then after the muster drill, most people went up to the pool deck to do the sail away party, but we instead decided to.
I didn't even know there was a party happening on the pool level.
It's very crowded and we don't really like it, so we skipped it. But so we decided instead to go to the Soul Cat Lounge, which is themed to Soul, and we got some beignets and some celebratory on the ship drinks. And then that night, we had set up something kind of special. We were doing the Tangled musical, the Broadway show, on the same night that we were doing the Tangled or Rapunzel's Royal Table, the dinner. That is something that you can request. It's never guaranteed, but it is something that we put a request in and it was granted. So we had asked for our dinner for Rapunzel's Royal Table to be on the same night as the show, and that did happen.
I mean, there was the Tangled play, and well, what I do know is that they didn't have Pascal anywhere in that play.
So Nathan, that was your first experience at the Broadway kind of shows on a Disney Cruise Line ship.
Yes, it was. I did enjoy the Tangled show. It was pretty accurate to like how they did in the movie. They there was like a few parts they did differently though, like like for I keep forgetting I forgot the lizard's name. Pastel? No, that's so
Pascal?
Pascal's right.
Oh, Pascal. Okay, I was thinking pastel. I think no, that's not the right word. But yeah, he wasn't in the play at all. I guess he was too tiny for the audience to see, so they decided to go without him.
You know, Chad and I have talked about that a lot. For some reason, they really leave out a lot of the like animal sidekicks. They didn't have Abu in Aladdin. Did they have Flounder in The Little Mermaid?
Yeah, they did.
They did? They had Flounder?
Yeah.
Okay.
They didn't have. They had Flounder, and they had Sebastian, but they didn't have the
seagull.
The seagull. Yeah.
Who else is it?
Yeah, on the stage show, on the last cruise that we went to, they didn't have the seagull.
It wasn't Beauty and the Beast.
What animal was in Beauty and the Beast?
Well, that's what I'm saying. There wasn't Beauty and the Beast. I feel like there was another one we've seen though that they didn't do. Is it Hey Hey and Moana?
Yeah.
Or Pua and Moana? I don't know. They leave the animal sidekicks out a lot, so I wasn't surprised when I didn't see Pascal. But as a Tangled fan, it was definitely a little disappointing.
I mean,
the music was really good. It kept
up
it
with
was the hype of the movie.
Yeah, it was pretty movie accurate for most of it. Like, I mean, whenever in the movie, the ruffian, like he goes up to Rapunzel and he says, "I had a dream once." Yet he's holding an axe, and he throws it at a guy who starts playing an instrument. Like he throws it right above his head, and that didn't happen to play.
Mhm.
And that same guy states, like, whenever he says, "And my hands are not the cleanest," there's a some marking for a dead body. It's on the ground. The movie, that didn't happen to play either when he said it. And then I think he starts playing the piano, and he didn't do that. I don't remember him doing it if he actually did. Whenever it came to the part whenever Flynn Rider and Rapunzel were in the cave that was filling up with water, what I remember was that the water, they rised up to the ceiling, but Rapunzel didn't remember that she could make her hair glow at first. And I don't know how, I'm guessing Flynn hurt himself whenever he was trying to, like, move the rocks around on the play. I know he does that in the movie, but I don't remember that happening in the play. Like, the parts in the play was much more shorter compared to the version of the movie, because the movie gave us, like, character depth in that scene, and that one was like, "Oh, whoa, the water's rising, we're going to drown. Don't worry, my hair can glow up."
Yeah.
Which, no, the way they made the characters, like, whenever they were swimming in that scene, I don't know how they did it, but they were, like, practically up to the ceiling. I guess, and they made it done some kind of mirror trick. I have no idea how they did that. I thought that was actually cool.
Yeah, that was a really cool scene.
One other nitpick I actually remember is that in the movie, so whenever Rapunzel was trying to hide the tiara from Flynn, she's like, "I've hid it somewhere where you'll never find it." And he says, "Isn't that pot over there, is it?" Which now in the play, she had it behind her back. So I'm thinking, okay, that wasn't accurate to the movie.
Yeah. It's always going to be a little different just because it's live. And then I already kind of mentioned it, but that night we also had dinner at Rapunzel's royal table. So this was your first experience of like rotational dining. So having the same serving team, but going to different places to eat each night. So what did you think of Rapunzel's?
Like,
It was
running
fun.
around.
Yeah, like the ruffians were trying to put energy into the room, get everybody hyped to be able to meet Flynn and Rapunzel. He's giving us like a quirky dance to, like, I don't know, get in the mood, I guess. Like he comes to everybody's table, and then he has his, like, hook, which, like, whenever he came over to us and started talking, I mean, I was busy eating my food, so I didn't see what he was doing at everybody's table. But he wanted me to fist bump his hook, was my assumption. And I don't know why, but I thought his hook was real. It simply wasn't, like, sharp or anything. So I was surprised when I felt how rubbery it was whenever I put my fist against it. Whereas, like, my mom, she simply shook it, and he says, "Come on." So that was kind of funny. He's like, he wanted a fist bump on his hook.
I enjoyed the show. I don't know if it's because where we were very close to the stage because it was very loud, but the show was very cute.
It was, yeah.
Anything to add on?
No, really. The atmosphere was definitely pretty cool. Lanterns everywhere.
Yeah, definitely fun for the first night, just kind of getting the excitement going. But then that second day, that was the big day. So we were on a special Marvel Day at Sea cruise, and this was the Marvel Day at Sea. So we're all donned in our Marvel outfits and ready to take on the day.
And it went from, like, Disney magic in the whatever time frame Rapunzel takes place in medieval times all the way to modern day. Huge time jump.
Yeah. I really appreciated that like the decor in the atrium just completely changed. They had those banners up, like just kind of appeared overnight. That was really cool to see all the decorations up that day, and then they were gone the very next day, which was interesting.
Nathan, what was your favorite character to meet up with on the Marvel Day at Sea?
Well, that's not really easy for me to decide because Loki was pretty cool. He had his voice pretty close to Chris Hemsworth. but then like he was talking quietly the whole time, so it helps you to hide the fakeness of like trying to play the character.
Well, Chris Hemsworth is
Spider-Man,
Thor. Who's Loki?
Tom Hiddleston.
Tom Hiddleston,
Tom
yeah.
Hiddleston. That's who it is.
Yeah, I definitely thought that one was cool. I thought Iron Man was cool.
Oh yeah, Iron
It's
Man's
a shame he was.
costume was awesome, and his like that voice changer, and he sounded exactly like him. I think though when it came to that room, like because there was Black Panther and Spider-Man, I thought Spider-Man was also cool, even though you could tell his frame wasn't like Tom Holland, because well, I mean, look at the costing comparison if you were to look him up online or whatever. But he definitely had Spider-Man energy. Like I know he said to one guest who was part of our party, "Are you Spider Girl?" That's wait, not Spider Girl, a Squirrel Girl. And I thought, that's an actual Marvel character because I knew it from Spider-Man Web Warriors.
Hmm.
And well, then we saw Black Widow, and she didn't look exactly like Scarlett Johansson, but I think she was probably one of the closer looking actors, like when comparing them to the people who actually play them in the movies.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I could have said the same thing for Gamora. They picked a really good person to play
Oh, yeah,
Gamora
Gamora was great.
on character meetups.
Groot could
Definitely.
have been made better, though. I mean, his costume was cool. I would actually love to have that costume, but they could have made him more movie accurate.
Yeah,
I definitely think we did a good job hitting as many characters as we did in the morning. I think a lot of people had the mentality of like, I'm on vacation, I'm going to sleep in. And so we were able to knock out like a good half of the characters we saw all day in the first hour or two of the day, which was
Yeah.
nice.
Yeah,
And they,
it definitely was a change to see like I don't know who the new Captain America is, but it was a change to see him over like old Captain America, the Steve Rogers
yeah,
version.
we had the Captain America shield, and the only signature we didn't get the entire cruise was Captain America. Oh well, it's okay.
No.
Steve Rogers, Captain America.
Yeah,
Technically, we had the Falcon
Sam Wilson,
Captain
yeah.
America sign it, but yeah.
But I feel like because we did all those characters in the morning, we were able to relax a little bit more during the afternoon. Like we went to trivia. I don't know about you guys. I didn't really like that Marvel 101 thing in the movie theater. Maybe I'm not a true Marvel fan.
Yeah, that was a little one-sided. You went to that with us, Nathan, right? It was like there was a speaker there talking about Marvel stuff, and she just was throwing out generalizations like, "Oh yeah, that's my favorite character. Okay, we're gonna watch a 5-minute video on one specific movie and how they produced it or something or other. Okay, let's watch it now."
Yeah, I remember that. Like it was cool to see the different comic book pages. Like, of course, we weren't going to actually read anything, but it was simply showing the history of the Marvel characters, like the most famous one specifically. And then there was somebody who I think she was in the video. She stated like, and then there's Captain America's famous catchphrase, and it was "Avengers Assemble." And apparently, I said it right alongside as she was trying to tell us about it. And I know my mom was surprised, and she's like, "How did you know what she was gonna say?"
Yeah.
Thinking because I've seen the cartoons enough. He says it in the movies. He says it in the cartoons all the time. Of course, I haven't seen all of the Marvel cartoons. Like, I haven't watched enough of Spider-Man show from the 90s.
One of the activities I really liked was the kid training initiative or whatever,
Oh, on the
where
pool deck?
yeah, on the pool deck they had some kids throwing the shield.
Oh, yeah, I
in the-
remember that. They were fighting against I don't know the guy's name. It was the scientist from Captain America 1 and 2. He ended up turning himself into like some kind of a Well, I don't want to say AI because I think he was still alive, but he put his mind inside the computer somehow.
Ultron?
But no,
Red?
Ultron was a robot. This guy was human.
All right.
The scientist from like World War II, from Captain America.
He was helping Red Skull.
And then I liked that they made what they normally call the Jack Jack Baby Dash or Diaper Dash. They made it a little hero dash that was cute.
It was funny.
Oh, yeah, I
All the
remember
kids
that part.
stood up, started walking, so they all got disqualified.
Yeah. And then for lunch, we all took a break and went to Cabanas, and they had those special Marvel treats. And then they had that special Marvel drink. What was it called? The Tesseract?
Yeah, she lucked
That's
out,
funny.
or she was lucky, and somebody pixie dusted her a little mini pop toy of Loki to go with that. So
Yeah, so it's on my desk. And then that show in Fathoms, that was cute, where Captain America came in. They were singing all those war songs. We saw it twice, didn't we?
yeah,
And they were doing all the dancing.
hmm
I think by far the most chaotic part was that costume celebration when all of a sudden all the what we call the Super Six came in their
oh yeah.
costumes.
I thought it was ridiculous that they did that to us too, though. Was okay, we're gonna let everybody run around for 15 minutes, try to get all the pictures you can with all the characters you can. It's like, really?
Yeah, but it was fun. They were able to
Well,
get
I mean,
four
the
of the
whole wait
six.
period isn't the fun part. It's more like when you actually get to the character. It's only whenever like a family gets confused, like
That's what I mean, though, Nathan. Like those costumes that they were wearing were exclusive to that time. You couldn't come back and take pictures with them again in that costume.
okay, well,
And a dash.
yeah.
hmm
I think one of Chad's favorite characters we met was just kind of random, was Kate Bishop and Hawkeye. Just kind of walking
Yeah,
around.
that was another one that they cast really well was Kate Bishop. She looked almost exactly like the actress that plays her. I won't say that for Hawkeye though.
Okay.
Hawkeye was way too young. Like
Yeah.
almost same age as the person playing Kate Bishop on the ship. It's just kind of weird.
Yeah, I like when it came to Flynn Rider and Quill from Guardians of the Galaxy and the guy playing Loki. Pretty much all three of those guys looked almost nothing like the actors.
Yeah.
They did the best they could.
I guess they had to
yeah.
find whoever was available to play them on the crew.
Yeah. So Marvel Day at Sea has two very special shows. We'll talk about the fireworks at the end because you guys went to that by yourself. But let's talk about that first one, the more family-oriented show. What did you guys think about that show? Mickey and Minnie's Superhero Celebration.
Yeah, my family actually left during that one because it was getting repetitive. Like it seems like it was simply a show more for the kids rather than like adults.
Yeah, it's definitely oriented to kids. It had the Super Six plus Chip and Dale.
Yeah, I think it was something like they would introduce a hero and then they would start dancing and they would do the same dance over and over. It's like, oh, let's add in another hero. Let's dance about it. It was getting so repetitive.
Yeah.
So we decided, okay, this is actually boring. So we left.
Yeah. I remember Mom, we all met in the atrium and she was like, we left before you guys. How did you get in the atrium before us? Oh, but whatever. But we had left a little bit before the show ended too. And we actually saw the characters coming in and going into the elevator shafts, which was pretty cool. We got to wave to them and tell them bye. And then we hopped in an elevator right after them. So that was pretty cool.
Speaking of,
and then I had heard a rumor that someone.
Oh,
go ahead.
Oh, okay. I thought. Whenever I was I don't remember why I was away from everybody, but I know I was trying to get somewhere. But I was on the elevator with somebody, and whenever it opened up, there was Chip and Dale. I don't know which one is which, but one of them had their back towards us whenever the elevator doors were opening, and they started shaking their tail. I think I don't know if that's. I didn't know if I should think of that as disturbing or funny.
So the way to tell them apart is Chip has a nose that looks like a chocolate chip, and Dale has a red nose.
Oh.
Yeah, I could never tell them apart either until Chad told me that, and now I'm golden.
I was
But
thinking
back to
maybe
what I was
one
saying.
had red clothes or something.
So back to what I was saying though, I had been told by someone that had cruised on the Marvel Day at Sea sailing a couple times before us, a couple weeks before we went. They had told me just to loiter around the atrium after that first show. So between that like 7:30 to 8 o'clock time, they didn't tell us what was going to happen, but they said you're going to want to be in the atrium. And probably our favorite part of the entire day happened then. I'll let someone else share it because I really do think that was probably like the highlight of our whole day. So we were sitting in the atrium, and all of a sudden, Star-Lord and Gamora came out and played some music and said, "Hey guys, I'd like to introduce you to some of my friends." And like every Avengers character that had been kind of roaming or had been a set meet and greet that day, they all just came out in the atrium and just spread out everywhere.
Oh, I thought we talked about that
Oh,
already.
okay. I remember what you're talking about now. They had like I think it was they had some Marvel characters and then they had like Disney characters show up from the second floor.
Yeah, so they had, that's when you guys were talking about Black Widow. We saw the new Captain America, Star-Lord, Gamora, um, the lady from Black Panther. I always forget her name.
Okoye.
Sure. And then someone that Core Chad had been eluding him all day, and we finally saw him, which was Doctor Strange.
Yeah, it took me 3 times. First time I got in line, and he just left and said, "I will be back soon." And he never came back. And then the second time, I was in a rush to go somewhere, and I saw him on the floor below. And then finally, it was the third time, and it was that special event that we finally were able to get in line and actually get a picture with him and get him to sign the shield.
Yeah. And then that night we were back in Rapunzel's, but it was the special Marvel Day at Sea menu. And then that night we were back at Rapunzel's for dinner, but we were doing the Marvel Day at Sea menu, which was okay. And then we ended the night with our special towel animal. Do you remember what you had, Nathan?
Like in the room or at the dinner?
Yeah, so
In the
the
room.
towel animal that they make on the bed for you.
I think it was a bunny, which
Oh, a button
I know.
on Marvel Day at Sea?
Yeah, it should have been something Marvel related. Ours
Uh,
was Thor's hammer?
Yeah, the hammer.
Ours was Thor's hammer. Did they not do Marvel stuff for you?
I guess not, because I know with my parents, whenever I saw their door open while we were in the hallway, I think they had flamingos. I think it was for
Oh.
Valentine's Day.
Huh. Well, now you had a new towel animal every night. And so that was Marvel Day at Sea. The next day we were at Progresso, and our family, Chad and I and our daughter, chose to stay on the ship, and we did Bippity Boppity Boutique. And we'll have that on the YouTube channel at some point. But we decided just to Marvel Day at Sea was so busy and
Yeah.
just a little chaotic.
Relax as much as we could and
Yeah, so we chose to
have a fun day.
relax. But you guys got
Oh.
off the ship.
Yeah,
Yeah, y'all
I remember that.
Yep.
So tell us about that.
Okay. Well, so we got off the ship, and I was wondering when I was going to finally get service because I didn't have any service on the ship. Like I could get notifications from a couple apps, and that was about it. So we had to get on a bus, and we had like two guides. I think. Well, I think we had a driver, and then we had two guides. They were telling us like about Mexico, I think, and well, at one point he told us, "Oh, by the way, we're going to see dinosaurs because supposedly in the area of Regresso there was a large meteor, which I think it had to do with the meteor that killed the dinosaurs like millions of years ago." He's saying, "Yeah, we're going to see dinosaurs." So I'm thinking, okay, this is some kind of a joke. Like I'm thinking, well, we're going to see dinosaurs. I should be excited about that. But I knew there was some kind of a joke behind it because how are we actually going to see dinosaurs? I'm thinking, well, dinosaur means terrible lizard. So we're going to see some scary lizards, I'm guessing. Well, it turned out the dinosaurs were these like big old fake statues. There was probably I don't know how long it went on for, but we there's like these dinosaurs that I think were at some kind of exhibit of some kind. I don't know. It was some sort of building, and he said to us, "I didn't say they were alive."
You think?
So after that happened, we're like in a city now, and well, I'm responding to messages I received from friends while I didn't have service, and we get to this one area where it looked like there was supposed to be some kind of a resort. He told us, our guy gave us a meeting time to be back in so that way we can get back on the cruise ship. And there's a beach. There's these I don't want to say they were tents, but there was a cabana.
Cabana? Yeah.
I guess. Okay, I thought cabanas were something different. Yeah, there was two cots in each of these cabanas, or you could go further out and get on lawn chairs and stuff. So there was a big old beach, very pretty actually, and there was a green flag, like a literal flag that was pinned into the beach. Apparently, it was to represent how bad the waves are, which they turned the flag yellow at one point, but yeah, the waves weren't really different. They were probably slightly rougher, but not anything noticeable. And I actually saw a seagull. It was flying, hovering right above our area, and I got it on video too. So I'm glad that happened. And so yeah, I went out into the water, and even though I put sunscreen on twice, I still got sunburnt, and that pretty much messed up the rest of the trip.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, I wanted to go into the water park that was on the cruise, like at least one of those days, and yeah, I had one day where after I got the sunburn, at one point it was because well, it would do the same where my sunburn would like randomly get hotter and it would cause my muscles to spasm. I don't know why that happens, but so yeah, I was uncomfortable a lot of the time, and I think my sunburn lasted like maybe 2 days, even after we got back home. But so yeah, I couldn't experience the water park because of it, but I did still get to see the plays and stuff, and yeah, the one with Cinderella, where the wicked stepsisters got their way. I mean, the story was a little bit engaging, but what was most fun about that one was the guys who were playing the mice, especially the one, I think his name was Gustas.
Gus, yeah.
Buscus? Yeah. The after playing him was pretty entertaining.
Yeah. That was a good show. I was pleasantly surprised by that show. I knew I would like it because it was a kind of an original story, but I was pleasantly surprised. That was a good show. And then that night we were at Lumiere's, the fancy restaurant. I know our family, we don't particularly like the fancy dining room art. It's not our favorite.
It's not so much the type of food that's there, it's just how limited the menu is. It's much smaller of a menu compared to the other dining rooms.
I think it's also just our style of food, and what we like to eat. We're just not big.
Yeah.
Not big on escargot.
No oysters. Everybody talks about on a cruise, you want to have the steak to make up for the cost. But I've just never been a fan of steak on a cruise ship. And then the next day, this will kind of show how delayed we are in this episode. But the next day was Valentine's Day. So I know we did Palo brunch, and the girls of the group went to the Royal Court Royal Tea, and the boys went to the beer tasting. What was that?
Yeah, I was proud of us. We were the only table who drank every single one of the beers and whiskeys that they put on the table.
Mm.
Mm.
No, it's not something I I've done many times in my life. So I figured, well, I'm gonna have two people there to help me get around. So might as well go for it.
I think some of the topics was Kirsten was fishing for was what was our favorite and what was our least favorite beer that they brought out. In my
Mm,
opinion, probably the amber beer, like the light amber beer, and the really, really dark beer were my favorites. Probably the least favorite was the one that tasted like a Bud Light and the like the mid-range beer. Those two either didn't have hardly any taste or they were way too sour, but I really liked the amber beer and the dark hoppy beer that they brought out.
Mm.
I
How about you?
honestly, the guy was talking too much for me to keep up with everything that was going on, and like I was trying to listen to all the stuff he was saying, but at the same time, I was trying to finish the beers that he kept on giving everybody. At least like on my end of the table.
Well, he was going through the history of each of the beers and what brewing companies they were from and what regions they were from and the history of how fermenting beer came about.
I mean,
Um,
he was educational.
So anyways, the beer tasting, what was your favorite? What was your least favorite?
Um, I don't know what each of the beers were. I'm mostly going by like the color of it. I think probably the lighter ones were the ones that like tasted the worst to me, whereas the
Sure.
darker ones they tasted better. Because
Yeah.
I I don't know
Yeah.
why I don't drink
Uh,
like beer often, so I'm not able to give an expert opinion on it.
See, that's the thing. So the amber IPA that we had and the dark lager that I talked about, both of those tasted amazing, and I actually really liked those. The ones that I hated were the light beer. They had no hop, no hops in them. They were just straight filtered light beer practically, or lightly fermented amber beer. And I think those are the ones you're talking about. You said didn't taste very good.
Yeah, like especially the ones I know that I don't enjoy was whenever he brought up the whiskeys because they like they burn your throat. I mean, the taste is actually I think better than a beer, but then when you swallow it, oh, it irritates your throat.
Yeah, you gotta throw it back on the exhale, not the inhale.
Interesting.
The burning sensation is a lot better if there's no oxygen in your throat.
Huh. I never heard of this before.
Moving on. Um, so what did you think of Animator's Palette? Did you like all
Um,
the artistry of it? I know y'all went to Palo dinner, um, but y'all did get to come see Animator's Palette in the morning the next day. But yeah, sorry not to get off topic. Tell us about Palo dinner.
um, I was the animator's palette where there was the meet and greet for Gamora and Groot.
Yeah, yeah, that was the
Oh,
place.
okay. So I don't recall even having food there. Like all I know about that room was whenever we had the meet and greet with Groot and Gamora.
Yeah.
I don't think I
You
ever.
came to breakfast with us there the last
Oh, Oh yes, I remember that actually.
Um,
Yeah,
y'all went
it
to
was
Palo dinner.
delicious.
We went to Animator's Palette for dinner.
Yeah, I had I think pancakes or waffles. It was probably pancakes, and well, yeah, pancakes is probably my most favorite kind of breakfast. So obviously, I enjoyed it.
So, you tell us about the Palo dinner, though. How was Palo?
I mean, I think we only went there like during breakfast. Y'all probably went there for dinner, but my parents probably went. But I, if they did, I didn't go because of my sunburn. Because I know we were at trying to get dinner
Oh,
somewhere,
I thought
and I
you were
was
with them.
feeling uncomfortable.
So you didn't come. So you just did room service then that night, or did you?
No, actually, I never ordered room service.
So you didn't go to Palo?
I mean, we went. I went there for a meet and greet and breakfast on the last day of the cruise, but that's all I know about it. If there was a dinner, my parents probably went, and I didn't go with them, and I don't know anything about having dinner there.
Okay, maybe I misunderstood. I thought you went with them to Palo for lunch or dinner or something.
Well, we did go somewhere like I think it was probably on the second highest level of the cruise. We went out to this area where we were supposed to dress fancy, and so I had my like,
Or Palo. That was Palo. Had the windows.
oh
Yeah,
yeah,
that's Palo.
okay. I'm getting the foul confused with palette. Um, yeah, so my parents I think were celebrating like a early 30th anniversary, which I mean, okay, that's like months away from now. It still hasn't even passed, but I mean, yeah, we went there. I don't remember what I ate. I yeah, I really don't remember actually. All I know is I think I may have had a soup that was involved in it, and well, like I think they told me that I can try going for dessert because there's like chocolate. It was something chocolate. That's all I remember. So I tried eating that, and I didn't have the appetite to finish it because I don't know. That was how all the meals on the cruise were. It was like you have your appetizer, which is already kind of filling, too filling, in fact. And you have the dinner, which fills you up, and then they like it's like just enough to where you think, I think I have some room left to eat a little bit more. Then you get the dessert and you're able to eat half of it. And that's even if you're able to finish, like, get past a quarter of it.
Gotcha. Um, so last question before we sign off. Um, what was your absolute favorite thing about this cruise?
Hmm. Well, I did enjoy the the day of Marvel Day at Sea whenever they had that show. I did enjoy that part because there was some fireworks and there was that like one part of it where they had Spider-Man. He was upside down like 30 feet
Yeah,
in the air.
well,
And
that
I'm
and like
thinking,
the the Hydra agents scaling the
yes,
smokestacks and stuff. That was pretty cool.
yeah, because like the way that these Marvel things start is they bring out all the characters, get them introduced to the audience, they crack their jokes, tell their stories, and then oh, the bad guys show up. And of course, like the adults know as part of the show, but the kids don't know that.
Right.
So, I mean, I guess they have to do put in some kind of action for the adults, and because they're thinking, oh, all this stuff is fake. We're doing it for our kids, so they're not able to enjoy it so much. So they have to throw in suspense and some kind of form of terror in order to make it more entertaining for them.
Gotcha.
And
All right. Well, I think that's going to do it for this episode. Please like and subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more podcast episodes from Ports
away.
All your palaces.
This podcast is sponsored by Ports and Palaces Vacations. Whether you are wanting to check out a new port along a cruise line or see the palaces of Disney and Universal, our travel advisors make your dream trip a reality. Your next trip is just a click away.